I hesitate outside the private dining room of the Oakwood Lounge, my fingers clenching around the elegantly wrapped package in my hand. Through the etched glass, I glimpse my family already gathered at the elongated table. The gentle tinkling of fine stemware drifts through the door as a waiter decants wine. 8 years. 8 years of responding to every plea, resolving every disaster, draining my savings at their merest whim. Tonight is about proving those concessions were valuable. That I'm valuable. I adjust my navy dress, draw a steadying breath, and swing open the door. My mother Victoria presides at one end of the table, her discerning eyes fixing on me right away. Her mouth tightens faintly as she evaluates my look, searching for imperfections to critique afterward. Beside her, my elder brother Landon smirks over his goblet, that same haughty look he sported since childhood. My younger brother Blake glances up from his device, his features shifting into a show of joy that fails to touch his gaze. Amelia, at last decided to join us. Only my father truly warms at my entrance. Thomas Reynolds rises, arms extended, his grin broadening as he notices the present in my grasp. There's my daughter, he declares affectionately. I navigate around the table, acknowledging the others before arriving at my father. Happy birthday, Dad. His hug is firm, authentic. For an instant I imagine this meal could be unique. That this evening at last my endeavors will be acknowledged. That I'll be viewed as more than their endless fund. I present him the boxed item. This is for you. You didn't need to buy me a thing, Amelia, he responds, though his eyes sparkle. I settle into the sole vacant seat at the table's head, facing my mother, detached. A shiver courses through me. Even the seating setup underscores it. I'm not truly in their circle. The waiter materializes at my side. Would you care to begin with a beverage, miss? Yes, I'll take. She'll take the house red. My mother interjects seamlessly. Amelia never could distinguish between vintages. I compel a grin. Actually, I'll take the Merlot. The 2017 vintage, if you please. Victoria's grin strains. Must be pleasant to have spare cash without actual duties like offspring. The usual tension knots in my gut. I've been here under 5 minutes. I'd like to request an extra starter for the group, I announce, purposefully diverting the topic. Landon rolls his eyes. Naturally you would, ever flaunting. I recall my initial bonus as a financial consultant. I was 22, newly graduated, thrilled with securing a spot at a renowned company. That $10,000 was intended to launch my savings plan, a move toward stability. Then arrived the frantic ring from my mother. The lender is seizing, Amelia. We'll forfeit the home. Your father is too dignified to beg, but we require aid. The solace I experienced after transferring the full sum to them was instant. Their thanks appeared real. I was the savior, the dependable one, the rescuer. Marcus perceived it prior to me. They're exploiting you, Ami, he remarked one evening after I scrapped our anniversary meal to extract Landon from yet another fiscal tangle. This cycle won't cease until you halt it. I brushed off his worries. Family precedes all, I assured myself. 3 months on, he departed. In the now, Blake is entertaining the group with a tale of his newest paramour. She's utterly obsessed with me, he states, winking my way. Some folks simply comprehend, right? On the subject of comprehending, Landon chimes in, did Dad mention my fresh venture prospect? It's set to be massive. I observe they're both savoring the costly Merlot I selected. Landon draws a prolonged, intentional gulp while locking eyes with me, aware I'm footing the tab. The meal advances to the present swap. Landon offers Dad a collection of standard golf accessories, still in the store wrap. Ideal for those weekend outings, he proclaims boastfully, as though he's bestowed something remarkable. Blake's offering is typically self-centered. A mounted picture of himself alongside Dad at a concert last year. An event I wasn't summoned to. To recall our unique occasion, Blake utters, eyes broad with feigned purity. When Dad unveils my offering, the antique 1952 Patek Philippe timepiece I pursued for months, the space falls hushed. It's exquisite, its gold casing shining beneath the eatery's glow. The band soft and luxurious. Amelia? My father murmurs, eyes moistening. This is excessive. I sense a surge of satisfaction, swiftly chased by a frost as I detect my mother's countenance stiffening, bitterness carving deeper into the creases near her lips. Well, Victoria remarks, a harsh grin curling her mouth. I guess when you lack a spouse or kin of your own to maintain, you can purchase whatever strikes your fancy. The table hushes. That's unjust, Mom, I utter, my tone quivering. Unjust? She chuckles softly, the tone fragile. What's unjust is how you parade your wealth. You wield it to diminish us. You're attempting to purchase your father's affection. I funded his procedure. The phrase erupts before I can contain it. I'm covering this whole meal. There it is, Victoria's pitch elevates, ever tallying. You desire the facts? You're pitiful. You're a solitary, resentful lady. And you wish to know why? You're not even in this family. I pivot urgently to Landon, mutely imploring for backing, for some recognition of the injustice transpiring. He purposefully averts his gaze, smirking as he sips the $120 Merlot I'm financing. And abruptly, with utter lucidity, I perceive the reality. This routine will never conclude. The predicaments will persist. The requests will never halt. The benchmarks will perpetually shift. I'm not kin. I'm their financier. And financiers, I comprehend with an odd serenity enveloping me, possess the authority to repossess. I exit the Oakwood Lounge with chin elevated, despite the quaking in my palms. The host inclines sympathetically as I near the settlement station, her glance flicking toward the secluded dining area, where my family's tones still resonate. Is all well, Miss Reynolds? She inquires, already accessing the booking info on her display. Flawless, I reply, imposing composure into my tone. I'd like to alter the settlement setup. I extract 2 fresh $100 notes from my purse, passing them over the surface to the attendant who's materialized next to us. Kindly bill my dish and Mr. Thomas Reynolds' dish to my card. My pitch lowers to secure discretion. The leftover invoice for 6 patrons. Please present it straight to Mrs. Victoria Reynolds. The attendant's eyes expand marginally, but she assents, stowing the currency in her pouch. Certainly, Miss Reynolds. Anything further? That's everything. I experience an odd buoyancy as I pivot toward the egress. Please delay until I've departed to present the concluding invoice. Outside, the evening breeze crackles against my flesh. My phone vibrates incessantly in my bag before I even attain my vehicle. 6 unanswered rings. All from Victoria. I ignite the motor but don't depart promptly. My digits linger over the display, poised to mute the rings when a message alert emerges. It's not from my mother or siblings, it's from my cousin Sophia. Flawless, I reply, imposing composure into my tone. I'd like to alter the settlement setup. I extract 2 fresh $100 notes from my purse, passing them over the surface to the attendant who's materialized next to us. Kindly bill my dish and Mr. Thomas Reynolds' dish to my card. My pitch lowers to secure discretion. The leftover invoice for 6 patrons. Please present it straight to Mrs. Victoria Reynolds. The attendant's eyes expand marginally, but she assents, stowing the currency in her pouch. Certainly, Miss Reynolds. Anything further? That's everything. I experience an odd buoyancy as I pivot toward the egress. Please delay until I've departed to present the concluding invoice. Outside, the evening breeze crackles against my flesh. My phone vibrates incessantly in my bag before I even attain my vehicle. 6 unanswered rings. All from Victoria. I ignite the motor but don't depart promptly. My digits linger over the display, poised to mute the rings when a message alert emerges. It's not from my mother or siblings, it's from my cousin Sophia. Did you catch what they were uttering about you in the kin chat? Kin chat? I gaze at the screen. What kin chat? Sophia's subsequent message holds captures. The time mark displays posts from 3 hours prior to this evening's meal. Landon. Amelia reserved the secluded space at the Oakwood Lounge. Blake. Superb. She just earned that advancement. Time to rinse the reward. Hope she orders the prime rib. I sense the color ebb from my cheeks, but I compel myself to persist scrolling. Victoria. Boys, be kind. Your sibling is merely attempting. 3 mere periods after that somehow encapsulate all the rejection, all the superiority I've endured for years. They orchestrated this. They synchronized their assault, computed how to draw utmost gain while rendering me insignificant. My mother. My own mother. The phone buzzes anew. A recording. 7 now. I depart the eatery lot, cruising aimlessly until I arrive at my flat complex. The accustomed hush of my humble one-room greets me, but this night it seems altered. Not isolated, tranquil. And thus I decant a goblet of wine and at last activate the initial recording. How dare you humiliate me thus? Victoria's tone permeates the space, quivering with fury. After all I've done for you, you thankless egocentric. I erase the note before she can conclude. Then the following and the following, each more toxic than the prior, not one regret amid them. When I attain the close, I perform something I've never executed before. I block her contact. The quietude that ensues seems profound. Wholly nearly. I launch my computer and browse to my preferred voyage portal. 10 minutes on, I've secured a ticket to Spain. 10 days in Andalusia. The journey I've fantasized since university, but perpetually deferred because kin crises took priority. With Victoria's tone muted, my thoughts abruptly sharpen. I retrieve my fiscal logs, arraying them over my dining surface. The proof of my misuse exposed in stark monochrome. $30,000 from my pension for Dad's urgent cardiac operation 3 years past. The identical operation his coverage would have handled if they'd settled their dues rather than embarking on that Caribbean voyage. $15,000 for overdue estate levies on a residence I don't inhabit. $10,000 advanced to Landon's failed enterprise that he never referenced again. Thousands additional for vehicle fixes, service charges, Blake's manuals for qualifications he never completed. I perform the computations doubly. My pension has been delayed 5 years. 5 years I'll never reclaim, but the monetary deficit diminishes beside the sentimental coercion. The aborted outings with Marcus, the overlooked elevations because I was too preoccupied by kin turmoil to concentrate on my vocation. The constant unease that accompanied every ring, pondering what calamity awaited this occasion. The subsequent dawn, I perch in Dr. Elena Vargas's chamber, my palms gripped firmly in my lap. I'm liberated, I declare, the term seeming alien on my lips. So why do I sense this oppressive remorse, this void? I don't know who I am if I'm not their crisis resolver. Dr. Vargas examines me above her spectacles because crisis resolver was a part you enacted. Provided you a role, but it wasn't you. Our task is to discover who Amelia truly is. My phone illuminates with a message. Marcus learned of what transpired at the lounge. Are you all right? I grin, valuing his worry, but not prepared to reply yet. That night, Blake initiates his retaliation. An alert emerges on my phone. Blake Reynolds has mentioned you in a crowdfunding drive. Kin betrayed by egoist sibling, the header states. The outline depicts me as an antagonist who deserted her kin in their hour of necessity. I flag it for deceit in moments. By midnight, the site is removed. An unsigned note arrives soon after from Blake's private profile. You're a fiend. You won't assist. And now you deliberately undermine us? You'll rue this. I peruse it doubly, awaiting the accustomed alarm to emerge. The remorse, the frantic urge to mend matters. It doesn't arrive. Instead, something solidifies inside me, sharpens. The menace yields the contrary outcome they planned. It fortifies my determination. That evening, I slumber without visions for the first occasion in years. No distress rousing me at 3 a.m. No scanning my phone for overlooked urgent calls. Just serenity. And the awareness that tomorrow, I commence constructing an existence that's genuinely mine. 2 days on, I gaze at my phone, navigating through Victoria's recent social update. A monochrome image of her staring pensively out a pane labeled, "The profoundest injuries stem from those we cherish most." How can a thankless offspring forsake the very kin who forfeited all for them? Shattered spirit. Kin foremost. The remarks area brims with compassion. Old kin acquaintances, remote kin. Even my 4th grade instructor proffering supplications and backing. My abdomen twists as I read Mrs. Thompson's reply. Dispatching affection, Victoria. Some offspring overlook their origins. I place down my phone and inhale deeply. Dr. Vargas's tone resounding in my thoughts. This is precisely what we debated. Communal disgrace as a dominance tool. The fixed line chimes the one contact I haven't obstructed. For chimes before I respond. 3 of your mother's companions rang me today, Marcus utters without introduction. Evidently I'm courting a fiend who deserted her impoverished kin. I'm remorseful, I murmur. Don't be. I instructed them all to depart. His tone gentles. How are you enduring? Before I can reply, my professional line hums. I must depart, I inform Marcus. Professional crisis. But it isn't professional. It's Laura from front desk, her tone rigid with unease. Amelia, your brother Blake is in the foyer. He lacks a meeting, but he's demanding to encounter you. Says it's a kin crisis. Frost inundates my veins. Inform him I'm in a conference. I'll ring him later. I did, but he stated he'll linger all day if essential. I peer through the transparent partitions of my workspace toward the lift area. Indeed, Blake reclines against the front desk, alluring grin solidly positioned as he converses with Laura's aide. My palms quiver as I collect my computer and documents. There's a rear staircase that guides to the garage. I've never utilized it before today. Later that night, an ivory envelope materializes in my postbox. I identify Victoria's elegant script instantly. For a moment, I ponder discarding it unsealed. Instead, I transport it within, positioning it on the kitchen ledge while I decant a goblet of wine. The missive is 5 sheets long, scripted on Victoria's initialed paper. My beloved daughter. Commences. After ample contemplation and multiple meetings with my life coach, I've come to grasp how my own ingrained doubts may have added to our present circumstance. Maturing with a judgmental mother myself, I now perceive how I might have unwittingly replicated those cycles. I peruse each meticulously formed term, observing how she succeeds in appearing contrite without truly regretting anything particular. The missive meanders through youthful recollections, thoughtful reflections on mother-daughter ties, and ambiguous allusions to mending our connection. It's the afterthought, rapidly appended in distinct pigment, that discloses the reality. P.S. Your father yearns for you immensely, and the estate levy invoice is impending next month. I don't shred the missive. I don't wrinkle it. Instead, I proceed calmly to my workstation, fetch the shears, and systematically slice it into exact, minuscule quadrilaterals. The shreds cascade into my refuse bin, astonishingly gratifying. The following dawn I execute 3 rings. First, to my financier, establishing an automated shift of $500 monthly into my exhausted pension fund. Second, to Sarah, one of the scarce companions who spans my kin realm and individual existence. I need to request something vital. I inform her. I need you to consent not to debate my kin with me. No reports, no communications from them, no benevolent efforts to reunite us. Her hesitation conveys much. They've been contacting you, haven't they? Everyone save Dad, I affirm. Deem it accomplished, she utters ultimately. Your kin is now a prohibited subject. The third ring is to enroll for painting sessions, something I've desired to attempt since university but never possessed time for amid kin crises. That night, my phone brightens with Dad's name. I nearly don't respond. Nearly. Ami. His tone sounds elder weary. Hi, Dad. I yearn for you. 3 straightforward terms that incision deeper than Victoria's 5-sheet missive. I shut my eyes, combating tears. I yearn for you too, Dad, but I cannot return, not while you opt to remain there. We're kin, Ami. Kin adheres together through dense and sparse. Is that what occurred at my birthday meal for you? When Mom uttered those things to me, did kin adhere then? The quiet extends between us. I can discern him respiring, the mild rasp from his right lung that never fully mended after the infection 3 years past. Another predicament I'd handled. Another clinic charge I'd settled. I overheard what she uttered. He concedes ultimately, his tone diminutive. I should have halted her. But you didn't. No, I didn't. The reality suspends between us. Agonizing but essential. I adore you, Dad, I declare, intending it. But I won't be your mortal offering anymore. After we disconnect, I coil into a sphere on my settee, permitting myself precisely 10 minutes to weep. Then I cleanse my visage, alter into fresh attire, and venture out to encounter Marcus for tea. The bistro is active, sunlight pouring through vast panes. Marcus signals from a nook table, 2 cups already awaiting. No amorous anticipations. Just the solace of someone who comprehends the entire reality. You appear improved, he utters, scrutinizing my countenance. Less. Pursued. I grin, realizing he's accurate. I sense lighter. I should have done additional, Marcus utters abruptly, eyes earnest. I'm remorseful I departed instead of aiding you perceive what was occurring. That was the simple exit. You attempted, I prompt him. I wasn't prepared to heed. The estate levy cutoff arrives and departs. I noted on my schedule with a tiny red X, readying for the barrage. It materializes exactly 3 days on, when Landon's name gleams on my phone display. I respond, placing him on amplified while I proceed readying supper. They might forfeit the home due to you. His tone resounds through my galley, acquainted in its virtuous ire. I dust pepper over the salmon fillet crackling in my skillet. No, they might forfeit the home because they didn't settle their levies. There's a disparity. How can you be so frigid? After all they've done for you? What precisely have they done for me, Landon? I turn the salmon, appreciating the amber exterior. Name 3 things. His stammering permeates the hush. That's what I conceived, I utter, astonished by the firmness in my tone. Farewell, Landon. I disconnect, awaiting the acquainted surge of remorse to overwhelm me. It doesn't arrive. Instead, I launch my computer and generate a fresh ledger. Column A, date. Column B, crisis outline. Column C, sum. I commence with the initial major extraction, my starting reward at 22, and advance systematically. By midnight, I've recorded $73,450 in advances and bestowals over 8 years. Beside this ledger, I access my timetable, noting every holiday, rendezvous, and individual occasion annulled for kin crises. The configuration is blatant, irrefutable. Not one significant instant in my existence stayed unmarred by their demands. 2 weeks on, I embark an aircraft to Spain. A journey I've envisioned since university. The images display a lady I scarcely identify beaming sincerely, limbs eased, eyes lucid. In one, captured at a quaint tavern in Seville, I'm chortling, head flung back, wholly immersed in the instant. Dr. Vargas beams when I exhibit her the images during our meeting. That's what liberty resembles, Amelia. The festive period nears. For the first occasion in my mature existence, I reject Victoria's official Christmas summons. Instead, I organize a modest assembly of companions in my flat. No kin turmoil, no treading cautiously, no computing the sentimental toll of each exchange. 1 year post the lounge clash. I'm examining seasonal forecasts when my phone hums with a message. Blake's name materializes on the display. We must converse. It's regarding Dad. My pulse falters, ancient routines striving to reimpose. Ring instantly. Abandon all. Mend it. I position the phone down and persist laboring for precisely 30 minutes, finalizing my duty before retrieving it again. The note lingers, demanding a reply. My digit lingers over the display as I form a resolution. A week on, the bistro hums with mid-morn vitality. The sizzle of coffee makers, clattering mugs, and subdued dialogues crafting the ideal communal setting. I selected this locale intentionally. Expansive area. Observers. No risk of being trapped. I inspect my timepiece, a functional titanium chronometer, nothing resembling the antique Patek Philippe I gifted Dad last year. 2 minutes until Blake materializes. I extract my phone, access the capture app, and initiate start. The display affirms capturing in progress. I return it to my bag, ensuring the audio isn't blocked. You fine? I glance up to discover Marcus at the adjacent table. His computer open but his focus on me. He'd arrived 15 minutes prior, establishing as if he were merely another distant laborer requiring brew and connection. I'm okay. I utter, surprised by how genuine it seems, just prepared to conclude this. Marcus assents, then reverts to his display, upholding the facade of distinct patrons who don't recognize each other. The entrance signals. Blake enters, surveying the bistro until he locates me. He's attired superior than typical, sharp polo, iron slacks, the attire of accountability. He's arrived ready. So have I, Amelia.x. His tone bears the exact nuance of managed concern as he glides into the seat opposite me. Grateful for convening with me. I possess 30 minutes, I declare, wrapping my timepiece. I require to return to labor for a summit ring. Blake's lips twitch, irritation swiftly concealed with rehearsed empathy. He extends into his satchel and extracts a craft folder. I fetch some items you need to view. He withdraws multiple snapshots, arranging them on the surface between us like gaming tokens. Dad, appearing slender and ashen, perched in his preferred armchair. Dad at what seems a physician's chamber, shoulders drooped. Dad dozing in a clinic cot, a drip in his limb. Something chill surges through me. When were these captured? Over the recent months. Blake inclines a head, tone dropping. He hasn't been identical since you deserted us, Amelia. The term deserted strikes like a blow. He scarcely consumes, barely slumbers. The physicians state his glucose is perilously elevated. I compel myself to respire uniformly, to examine the snapshots with objective separation, rather than the frenzied remorse surging within me. What precisely ails him? His heart. Blake wags his head mournfully. Recall that operation you aided with before? There are issues. He requires another intervention. The suggestion suspends in the atmosphere, unspoken but evident. This is your blame. You departed and now Dad suffers. Doctor. Vargas's tone resounds in my cranium. Observe when they're employing your father as sentimental influence. They know he's your vulnerability. I'm sorrowful to learn he's ill, I utter, maintaining my tone firm. Which clinic is he receiving care at? Blake winks. Regional Medical. And his physician's name? Dr. Thompson. The response arrives too swiftly. Cardiologist or vascular expert. Blake's gaze constricts. What variance does it create? It creates a variance because I'd like to converse directly with his physician. I extract my phone. If you provide me Dr. Thompson's contact details, I can ring immediately to debate Dad's care strategy. Blake fidgets in his seat. You can't simply ring his physician. There are confidentiality regulations. Dad can permit it. Let's ring him immediately and inquire. He's reposing, Blake utters harshly. The remedy renders him sleepy. I sip my cooling tea, utilizing the instant to stabilize myself. Blake's indicators are evident now. The digit drumming, the swift winking when he's inventing particulars. I concern for Dad's wellness. I utter meticulously. But I won't be coerced, Blake. His demeanor darkens. You sound precisely like that counselor of yours. Has she persuaded you that your own kin is coercing you? He inclines a head. What sort of daughter deserts her father when he needs her utmost? Mom was correct about you. You've perpetually been egocentric. The terms mirror Victoria's precise wording from innumerable disputes. In the past, I would have whirled into protective clarifications, frantic to demonstrate I wasn't the antagonist they portrayed me to be. Not any longer. I comprehend that's your viewpoint, I utter. Blake stares at me, awaiting the habitual frantic validations. When they don't emerge, bewilderment flashes across his face. Look, he utters, tone toughening. This isn't a discussion. Either assist with Dad's operation or don't feign to concern for him. I've proposed to converse directly with his physician. I've proposed to ring Dad immediately. If he genuinely requires another operation, I desire to hear the specifics from health experts, not via you. Blake's face reddens crimson. You don't trust me? Your own sibling? I trust health experts to clarify health conditions. Fine. He flings up his palms. Ring Dad. But Mom already informed him you'd cover all. The blunder suspends in the air between us. Blake stiffens, comprehending what he's disclosed. So Dad doesn't truly know you're soliciting me for funds, I utter softly. Blake's tone elevates. Don't distort my terms. Dad knows he needs operation. Mom was merely attempting to spare him the tension of monetary concerns. Heads pivot at nearby surfaces. A gentleman with silver locks glances over. His expression worried. You've perpetually had it simple, Amelia. Blake persists, louder now. Your posh occupation, your riches, while the remainder of us toil. And now you won't even aid our father? I maintain my tone uniform, gentle. Blake, we're in a communal venue. Let's preserve this dialogue polite. Polite? There's nothing polite about deserting your kin. He pounds his palm on the surface, clattering our vessels. The bistro quiets. The attendant nears our surface, her demeanor proficient but resolute. Sir, I need to request you to reduce your volume or relocate this dialogue. Blake pivots on her. This is a confidential issue. Not when it's unsettling our other patrons. The attendant holds firm. Do I need to request you to depart? Blake surveys around, abruptly cognizant of the notice he's attracted. Every gaze in the bistro observes him, not with the empathy he anticipated, but with censure. Marcus rises and shifts to my surface, uttering nothing, merely situating himself behind my seat. My phone signals with a message. I glance down to view Marcus's name. All okay. Requires support. Before I can reply, another message arrives from my workplace. Take all the duration you require. We've secured your display. Dr. Vargas states she can encounter you at 2 p.m. if necessary. A network of backing encircles me now, unseen to Blake but robust enough to hold me firm. I retrieve my phone and dial Dad's contact, maintaining Blake's gaze as it chimes. Hello? Dad's tone sounds vigilant, perplexed by the unforeseen ring. Dad? It's me, Amelia. Ami. Delight illuminates his timbre. Blake stated you were too occupied to converse with me lately. Blake extends for my phone. I pivot away, safeguarding the link. How are you sensing, Dad? Blake exhibited me some images. He states you need another operation. Operation? Dad sounds sincerely perplexed. No, the physician just altered my glucose remedy last month. It's functioning well, no operation required. Blake rises suddenly, face pallid. I must depart. As he assembles his items, I notice his phone display illuminating with alerts. Even inverted, I can discern Victoria's name succeeded by did she consent? How much? Dad, I utter calmly. Would it be fine if I converse with your physician? I'd like to comprehend your current care plan. Of course, dear. Dr. Hernandez. Not Thompson. Don't know where Blake acquired that name, she's outstanding. I'll ring her chamber and inform them you might reach out. Blake charges toward the entrance just as my phone alerts again. Landon ringing. I reject it, observing my younger sibling escape the bistro, already pressing his own phone to his ear. The kin that once appeared so allied against me is splintering before my eyes. Dad, I utter, sensing something alter within me. There's something we need to discuss. The phone chimes as I'm organizing through seasonal finance analyses. Thomas's name gleams on the display, and I halt, sensing the acquainted pull of duty. It's been 3 weeks since the bistro episode with Blake. 3 weeks of comparative stillness. Dad, I respond, keeping my tone balanced. Ami. His tone is affectionate but wary. How are you, dear? I'm fine. Occupied with labor. I wrap my stylus against the desk timetable, already perceiving what's approaching. Listen. I've been contemplating. Thomas clears his gullet. What if we had a kin supper next week? Just to discuss matters through. Victoria vows to regret. The old Amelia would have promptly reorganized her agenda, thankful for any fragment of reunion. But as I perch in my workspace, encircled by the existence I've constructed, I identify the snare. I adore you, Dad, I utter gently. But I can't. A regret under duress isn't genuine. I'm not prepared to position myself in that spot again. The hush extends between us. I can virtually hear him diminishing. She's truly attempting, Ami. Is she? Or is she merely attempting to restore things to the former way? Another extended halt. I yearn for you. I yearn for you too. But this isn't about chastising anyone. It's about shielding myself. When we disconnect, the old remorse emerges, that persistent voice querying whether I'm being egocentric, whether kin devotion should surpass all else. I access my desk compartment, extracting the counseling diary Dr. Vargas proposed. Beneath the remorse, I discern something novel. Determination. Christmas materializes with a storm of social posts about appreciation and community. The Reynolds kin summons rests in my inbox, unhandled. Instead, I expend the day with Marcus and his fresh companion Daniel. We prepare together in Marcus's flat, chortling over scorched pies and mildly uncooked filling. To liberty. Marcus salutes, elevating his goblet with a perceptive grin. Later that evening, navigating through social feeds, I view Victoria's impeccably arranged kin image, Thomas appearing uneasy in a vest I'd never witnessed before. Landon and Blake bordering him, their grins strained. The label reads, so sorrowful when a kin is fractured by egoism. We yearn for those who ought to be here. Just months past, this would have propelled me spiraling into remorse and disgrace. Tonight, I just sense mournful affirmation of my mother's sufferer syndrome. I shut the application and slumber soundly. The ring from Clara arrives unexpectedly on a Wednesday morn in January. Landon's spouse seldom contacts me straight. Amelia? Her tone is dense with sobs. I'm remorseful to disturb you, but I didn't know who else to ring. I step distant from my workstation, shifting to the seclusion of the stairwell. What's amiss? It's Landon. He's been deceiving me. Her terms cascade out between cries. He just conceded he's $10,000 in arrears to you from a botched venture, and now he's insisting I vend my vehicle to cover fresh arrears. He keeps faulting you for severing him and devastating his finances. The disclosure doesn't astonish me. Landon had perpetually existed beyond his resources, assured that someone typically me would rescue him. Clara, I utter, keeping my tone serene and engaged. I am genuinely sorrowful you're in this stance, but that is between you and Landon. I'm not engaged, but if you could just aid us. No, the term arrives effortlessly now. I can't mend this for you. Landon needs to confront his own fiscal selections. After we disconnect, I perch on the stairs, absorbing. The kin is pivoting on each other now that their financier is shut. It's both justification and sorrow combined. Back at my workstation, a note from Sophia in upper administration awaits. Amelia, can we convene to debate the Kensington merger? We're contemplating you for initiative head. The chance is precisely what I've been laboring toward. A primary advancement with substantial accountability, an elevated compensation, and extended hours. My palm lingers over the keys. The old Amelia script enacts in my cranium. I can't. I need to be accessible for crises. That night in Dr. Vargas's chamber, I stride by the pain. What's restraining you? She inquires, observing me with that incisive gaze. I've perpetually been the one they could rely on. What if someone requires me and I'm trapped in assemblies? Dr. Vargas inclines a head. Whose crisis are you truly afraid of overlooking? Is it your kin's? Or is it your own? The query halts me. Mine. The crisis of sensing required. Of possessing purpose through resolving other people's issues. The verity of it settles in my torso. I've constructed my persona around being the mender, the turmoil director. Without that part, who am I? I conceive, I utter gradually. I'm afraid of discovering who I am when I'm not rescuing everyone else. The subsequent dawn I messaged Sophia. I'd be privileged to direct the Kensington merger. 3 months on, I'm positioned at a lectern at the yearly economic symposium guiding a discussion on evolving sector tactics. My tone is firm, assured. The chamber is filled with sector pioneers, and I sense a peculiar sense of inclusion I never encountered in my own kin. At the gathering afterward, a lady nears with 2 flutes of sparkling wine. Remarkable discussion, she utters, proffering me one. I particularly appreciated your view on eco-friendly growth portfolios. Thank you. I received the flute, noting her kind eyes and relaxed grin. Sienna Clark, she presents herself. Urban Planning Associates. Amelia Reynolds. Crestview Capital. Our dialogue streams smoothly about labor, about innovation patterns in economic hubs, about our mutual fondness for Spanish tapas. Not once do we reference kin turmoil or crises or duties. It's just 2 experts linking over common pursuits. When she requests my contact, I sense a quiver of curiosity that has nothing to do with needing to rescue her or mend her issues. She's accomplished, steady, my peer. That evening in my flat, I gaze at her contact, realizing how much has transformed. My former existence is diminishing, supplanted by something I never deemed feasible. Autonomy. Thomas rings less often now, and when he does, the dialogues have altered. How's labor, Ami? He inquires, authentic curiosity in his tone. Good. Demanding but good. I'm directing a primary merger. That's marvelous. A halt. I began consulting someone. A counselor, I mean. The confession astonishes me. That's excellent, Dad. Yeah, well, turns out I have some matters to process. Blake's messages have ceased. Landon stays aloof, still incapable to perceive me as anything but an asset that deceived him. Victoria persists unaltered, but her influence over me has vanished. Her coercions are clear now, nearly humorous in their foreseeability. Sienna unites me on the terrace as night descends fully. We debate weekend schemes, future aspirations, dialogues, unencumbered by monetary duties to others. Liberty isn't about severing bonds, I utter, observing the urban glows shimmer below. It's about possessing the selection to establish conditions. Her palm locates mine as I erase another obstructed recording with my free digit. The sparkling wine seizes the final amber glow as I elevate it. To us, I utter again, knowing now that us can encompass only those who contribute worth to my existence, not those who withdraw it. The metropolis sparkles below, a ocean of potentials extending outward. For the first time, the future seems like an open path rather than a restricted enclosure. And I am finally wholly free to select my own course.